and welcome to Nosotros, the podcast about Mexican-American history, politics, cultura y más, brought to you in part by the Gomez Law Firm. I'm your host, Elaine Ayala, Metro columnist for the San Antonio Express News. My guest today is Abel Antonio Chávez, the 10th president of Our Lady of the Lake University on the historic West Side, and so where so much history and activism took place. We'll get to that. Thanks for coming on, Dr. Chávez.
Thank you, Elaine. What an honor. Thank you.
You probably know that I began my podcast with a little game of this or that. And for you, I'm throwing in some pop quiz questions.
All right.
So I hope you're ready.
Let's do this. I'll let you know in a couple minutes.
College dorms or college commuters?
College dorms.
Don't you think you get more of the experience that way?
Oh, absolutely you do. Yeah, and care and the love, high-speed download, internet, a warm meal as well, access to athletic events, and maybe a cafecito with the president too.
Oh, yeah. And don't you have a swimming pool on campus?
We do. Yeah, we do.
All that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually have two.
Oh. Mira?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I live just a few blocks from you.
Right.
So I could come over.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Early morning classes or late night classes?
Ooh.
This is really talking about yourself and what you...
Okay. Early morning. I'm an early riser. And so I'm ready to go.
Like 8 o'clock class?
Early. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be good. Yep.
College cafeterias or fast food?
Oh, college cafeterias, especially if it's our cafeteria.
You like
Elaine?
it?
Oh, I love it. Look, best pozole in San Antonio.
You have pozole?
We have pozole. Yeah, green and red. Yeah.
I'm going to come over.
Oh, yeah. And the best burrito bowls as well.
Okay.
Oh,
well,
yeah. No.
You're selling
Los tacos.
También.
Yeah. In the morning also.
Wow.
Really,
my mouth
really
just
nice.
watered.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite place to study?
Ooh, in the library.
But where in the library?
So, so there we have a newly remodeled. Our library director has done phenomenal work in remodeling and reimagining the library. The second floor of the library, where we have the Jesse Trevino mural, there are so many pockets that really create great places to study.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But the third floor, overlooking 24th Street, for me, great reading, great studying, great meditating spot right there.
Okay, that's good to know. All right, must have study snacks.
Depends on the time of day. Some cacahuates japoneses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're crackly.
Oh, yeah, crackly. But the ones that are coated with some chile on the
Right.
outside.
I know exactly where they are at HEB.
Oh, yeah. Some juice, a fresh, cold pressed juice of some kind. For me, it would be some mix of celery, carrot, ginger, kale, something.
Look at you, all Denver.
Yep. Yeah. No, this is San Antonio.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. All San Antonio. Yeah.
Okay, here's the question I ask everybody.
All right.
Corn or flour?
It also depends on the meal.
Okay. Morning?
It depends on the meal.
Okay. Because for me, morning has to be flour.
Yeah.
If I have one taco at all, it's going to be with flour.
Well, okay. So if it's barbacoa, for me, it's corn. If it's anything else, taco, flour.
But when you have the barbacoa, one tortilla really isn't enough. You have to double up,
of course you do. Yeah.
And a lot of restaurants know that. They give you two even without asking.
Absolutely.
Because it'll fall apart otherwise.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We could talk about food all day.
We could go all day. Okay. Oh, now I want to ask you, what's your favorite restaurant on the West Side?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, look, you can't do that.
Come on.
Because I'm going to leave so many great restaurants out.
Okay, so.
But I'll say this. The bakery that I frequent a lot.
Magnifico. No?
Fiesta.
Fiesta. It's also
off of
really,
Commerce.
It's also very good.
Their
That's
pan
my
de huevo de canela.
Beautiful. They have the thick,
best.
Sugary thing.
Yeah.
I like Panifico too, but that's the
great.
old school one. That's the older one.
Yeah. Yeah. Panifico is great.
You know your pan dulce.
I do.
Okay. We're going to get started.
Okay.
So I'm very interested in hearing about the lake's planning on reusing its convent and perhaps the property across the street that used to be a Catholic elementary school. So I want to get to that. But first, I'm going to test how good a historian you are of Our Lady of the Lake. Tell us about some of the rich history that the lake has contributed to San Antonio, especially to West Side civil rights struggles.
Well, this year, in 2025, we're celebrating our 130th year as a university. We were born in 1895.
Amazing, isn't it?
1895.
And it was the Monjitas.
It was, yes, absolutely, who arrived. Well, they were sent from Alsace-Lorraine, France, with one mission, which is a beautiful mission if you think about it, so straightforward. To educate the poor, show them how to read, and to teach them the numbers. And that mission, which originally started right in the rural parts of France, then translated to when they arrived in Galveston, and then Castroville, and then San Antonio.
Which was then, that part of it was rural.
It was. Well, that's why on our spire at the chapel, we only have three clocks right on three sides.
Yes.
And you know what side we don't have a clock on, right?
The West.
The West.
Because there was nothing out there.
There was nothing out there. And now you could go for miles. You do go for miles,
till
right?
1604. But what's interesting to me is that after the fire, the lake had an opportunity to put a clock on that western end, and it decided not to honor the history. And I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's so, as you said, there's so much history at Our Lady of the Lake University. And it all starts, and I will get to your question, Elaine. It all starts with the ministries that our sisters, the Congregation of Divine Providence, laid out for us, right? And the focus, the clarity of purpose, of strategy that they have gifted us with is like no other. Their ministries are really grounded in three: 1, education; 2, community health; and 3, community service or social service. That's it. So everything that we do, everything that we ought to be doing, ought to be at the nexus of those 3. And if you look back to our history, the 40s, 50s, really in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, think about it. Right, all the various discussions on community activism, on social justice, have all been about education, community health, and community service. And the struggles, right, that the communities were feeling at the time, many of which are still in place today, and really Our Lady of the Lake University being a convener. Of this is what we see outside. Folks, come and join us, and let's be a part of how we can serve the community, how we can move society forward around these issues that matter most: education, community health, and community service. And that has looked different, right, in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Fast forward to today. And we continue to be a convener.
And to me, the most important convening was, I believe, in 1968, when the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights selected Our Lady of the Lake to host its historic civil rights hearings, in which people from all over the Southwest came to San Antonio to report on what was happening in terms of discrimination and civil rights in their communities. I think it's a 1,000-page document. I've looked it up several times online and looked to all the people in San Antonio who testified about what was happening in Edgewood schools and the lack of textbooks, the lack of qualified teachers, all of that was in there, and it happened at the lake.
Mm-hmm. And many of those people are still with us. Some of them are dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
And what an inspiration to connect the mission of the congregation with the mission, the personal mission of these leaders in our community, and to learn and to listen about what was happening then and how these ministries have come together to shape the university that I get to lead today.
Mm-hmm. And last year, I recall that another group, the Hispanas Unidas,
Yes,
held its 50th anniversary conference, their own convening of Latinas, now new generations of them, meeting with the old guard of the civil rights era. That included people like Maria Antonieta Berriezoval, Rosie Castro, and others.
right. Yeah, we did host them September, I
Yes,
believe, and it
last
was
fall,
and a shout out to one of our just phenomenal faculty members, Dr. Valerie Martinez, who really was the nucleus, the coordinator, and working with these Hispanas Unidas to make that possible. It was an incredible event, multiple day event that we got to host back at their original convening spot at Our Lady of the Lake University.
It was awesome. That sort of brings me to a political issue of today, really, and another kind of civil rights issue. And that's the university's Mexican student populations, or maybe others, Central Americans perhaps, but people that have come here from other countries and have chosen Our Lady of the Lake in the midst of immigration raids that are happening all over the country. And I wonder if you've felt that tension at all.
We have a Catholic mission, and our Catholic mission is to love our community. Truly. It is who we are and the charism of the congregation, also, which also gives us really the guidance to live in simplicity, in charity, in providence, and putting our faith in God. And part of that for us means what does the Bible, what does the Pope, what does the Vatican guide us to do? And that is to love and to take care. And so anything that I could do, and anything that everyone across our campus can do to show our love, our appreciation, our gratitude to our students, our families, our faculty, our staff, we do every day.
Have you had any tensions on campus regarding immigration raids, any protests, or God forbid, threats?
I pray every day that we don't.
Okay. So one of the ways that universities, I've heard others, open up their real estate to potential newcomers to the college campus. And you're doing that with the old convent. Now bring us up to date. The reason the convent is open is because there are no more nuns at the convent?
There's some sisters, a small population that live in the convent. But let me back up though, Elaine. We have, as a university, we own about 55 acres, and if we look at the total property, the congregation's property and the university's, we have over 100 acres. I mean, it's a beautiful space. And I'm sure you've been able to tour the entire grounds of the university. We have oak trees. We have walnut.
Very old ones.
Well, the mall area, beautiful. What I call our Parisian park.
Yeah, it's a
in the heart of
canopy,
San Antonio. Really. It is a canopy.
It's total shade and beautiful.
It is a stunning a green space. and it's immediately adjacent to Elmendorf Lake. But we also have, out by the grotto, there's also a walnut grove back there. Just the green space is just so beautiful. And so what we've done about 1.5 to 2 years ago is look at the entire physical space, right? The congregations and the universities. And with, again, over 100 acres, we just got to dreaming about the possibilities where we could potentially host commencement on campus.
Oh, that would be fun.
And so, or where we can have I love to jog. So how about a track, a running track, a jogging track around the perimeter of campus to go with the beautiful
but
lake?
There's no track there. I mean,
Exactly.
I see people running there all the time, but
Exactly. And so all of that, we have a dreamy 50-year 50 master plan of what the campus can be. And in that master plan, Elaine, I tell you what, there's a number of assumptions that we've made. There's a lot of just tangible and practical possibilities, and one of those is the convent, which is a 4-floor building, about 80,000 square feet. It's a big space, beautiful space. The woodwork, the trim in that building is like no other.
And it's such, at least I remember, I was never a student there. My late brother was, but it was viewed as so sacred and somewhat secret. You know, you weren't really allowed in there. Although he was in a choral group and he got to go in once because they were singing Christmas carols or something. It's a big deal. So the idea of going in there is so, it's sort of territory that you never got to explore if you were a student there. I'm assuming, because you wouldn't have access to it.
The campus community does have access to it now. Right? I don't know what it was.
I don't think so. I think it was private quarters, and they kept it separate.
Yeah, and so when I started at the university back in 2022, the university had just inherited or purchased the convent, and there was a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential pathways, which I put a pause on every one of those pathways to really be thoughtful about thinking how we could bring yet another gift to the community to continue to lift the community through the use of the convent. And so 3 years later, we have 10 gigabyte download speed internet that blankets the campus, including the convent, and we have landed on the hypothesis that a co-working entrepreneurial space where folks can rent short-term or long-term, small or big or large spaces, could create the density that many of the communities like the West Side lack, right? The density of thinkers, the density of entrepreneurship, entrepreneurial activity, the density of just a crashing of ideas
and
to
destination for the rest
see
of
what
us.
happens. Yeah, and so that's where the idea about the convent is, and like I said, me as a scientist, I am calling it a hypothesis because what I am hypothesizing is that bringing a lot of creativity together with minimal bureaucracy at a reasonable cost, or let's say point of entry, a cost to play, if you will, could create some beautiful magic for the betterment of the community.
And do you have some potential clients that could go in there already?
So we did announce a few weeks ago that the Maestro Center is moving, has moved into the convent. They are a major partner for us that is going to be leasing space in the convent. And how beautiful is it, right? The Maestro Center for entrepreneurship, and we have the School of Business over at Our Lady of the Lake University. Our faculty are first class. We have an MBA program. We have a nonprofit management master's program also. I think that just creating those threads could be really neat, again, for our community.
Mm-hmm. But so you besides that, do you have which is a big that's a fairly big organization, so they'll be taking up a good little piece of real estate, right?
Yeah, some space.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
And someone mentioned to me that there's going to be sort of like a venue space as well, perhaps.
Well, we do have a venue space on the fourth floor of the convent. Is this open space that spans the entire length of the convent, that overlooks the east and the west of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. To see the tree cover from 4 floors or 4 stories high with beautiful windows and the potential venue space, right? It could be a board meeting room. It could be an art gallery. It could be a poetry space. It could be a business who wants to host some fundraiser, an organization who wants to host a fundraiser. The possibilities up there are endless. And that's the 4th floor. Mm-hmm. And that's the potential venue space.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, it's exciting. When would you have like an open house so people can go see it?
Later this year.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very soon.
All righty. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Last year, Our Lady of the Lake was in our news pages for 2 major stories, one positive, one not so positive. One, it's a settlement in a proposed class action lawsuit over a 2022 data breach. The other was the largest private donation the university has received in its history. And that was a $2.2 million grant that will assist first-generation students. Bring us up to date on both of them.
Yeah.
Where you are.
So on the first one, that was when the Express News reported it. That was old news and
okay.
Very old news, and that was already closed.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
You had already settled it.
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
and the number that was reported was multiples much higher than the reality.
Can you say?
No.
Are you forbidden by your lawyers?
Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah,
okay.
but it wasn't
as
it was
much.
an incorrect number.
Okay, I don't have that number before me, but
Yeah.
okay, it was much lower.
Yes, and the Lopez scholars or the Lopez Foundation, the
Mm-hmm.
Hector and Gloria Lopez Foundation, did gift us $2.2 million. 100% of those resources are going into the pockets of our students, fully funded tuition. And so I get to meet with those students. I get to meet with the foundation as well to share the stories of the good work, the great work of our students. And I'll give you an example that just recently I connected with 3 of the scholars who had gone to China to do a research visit with one of our professors. And that was just a few weeks ago. That was summer 2025. For these students to have the opportunity to go to China for 2 weeks to work with other scholars, with other students from China, is a completely life-changing experience. And prior to that, during our winter break, 2 of those students had gone to Costa Rica for another visit abroad, right? Also as part of the Lopez scholars.
Changing their lives, really.
Completely changing their lives, Elaine. And so, look, 2.2 million is an incredible gift that will continue to change lives. We as an institution, we have such a rich history that 2.2 must be multiplied over and over and over again.
Ojalá. Okay, I'll close with this question because I used to, a long time ago, I used to live across that big field across the street from the university.
Okay.
On San Luis. And by that time, the little Catholic school was also long closed.
Okay.
I think it was St. Martin's.
Yeah, St. Martin Hall.
St. Martin Hall.
Sure, on Cesar Chavez and 24th.
Cute little school.
Yes.
I can't imagine what it looks like now, but you can tell us. And then that huge, I think it was a soccer field. It might have been used for other sports, but we always used to see the kids out there on weekends, you know. So that's been vacant for so long.
Yes.
What are you going to do with that?
Oh gosh, I'm glad you asked. So we will be ribbon cutting that and really reopening St. Martin Hall August of 2026.
Okay.
And that space is going to be our new Center for Children and Family. The co-location of services there are so important for our community, solving a number of critical infrastructure. Again, communities like San Antonio's West Side have so many challenges around these very important infrastructure, from health, energy, housing, food, water, transportation, etc. And so the Center for Children and Family is going to have counseling services co-located with communications disorders, co-located with our Salud Center, which is our a food pantry.
Oh, you also have the speech
Yes.
therapy also that you teach at the school?
Yeah, the communications disorders coupled with counseling, and then also food. And part of the architectural design of the space is we're going to repurpose the roof on St. Martin Hall to be an outdoor green balcony.
So that's
space.
yet another. You're basically increasing the square footage.
Yes, yeah. We're not adding. So we're not going up. We're just opening the top. And so that is a space, historic building that has meant so much to our families for so many years.
All the graduates will come back.
I sure hope so. I'm inviting all of them to come back and to be a part of that. November 3rd, this year, 2025, the Archbishop is going to be blessing the space as well.
When will you start construction? Because I'm sure it has to be gutted, right?
It does have to be gutted. Our intention is to start the remodeling summer 2025.
Okay.
And so, look, there's some incredible opportunities for folks who care about our community, folks who care about Our Lady of the Lake University, folks who care about the health of children and families to be a part of this. We have naming opportunities for the balcony, for our green spaces, and also for the building.
That's great. Well, I wish you much luck.
Thank you.
I'll be nearby and come over and...
Please do.
Yeah.
We'll have some of that pozole.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks for coming on Nosotros.
Thank you, Elaine.
Emo. You can watch the video version of Nosotros on YouTube or listen to it anywhere you get your podcasts. My Metro column appears Wednesdays and Fridays in the San Antonio Express News. And if you want to reach me, my email address is eayala@express-news.net. And thank you for being here for Nosotros.